Hello and welcome everybody to Flicker Effect and our spoiler-filled review of the new film Bullet Train. By the way, I'm David Lott. Joining me in this episode, right next to me, is Michelle Hillard.
Hello, everybody. Hello.
And Bobby Jackson.
Hey, how's it going?
And back is finally Jascha Wilson.
Hey, everybody. Hey.
What's up, everybody? The whole crew is here.
Who would have
The gang's all here.
Who would have thought the bullet train would be the thing that brings all of us together?
Yeah, we're going to be talking about Bullet Train, spoiler-filled review. We'll get to that in a second. Little housekeeping first. For those of you who may not know, depending on where or how you are watching us or listening to us, this show is available on YouTube, and there is an audio version of the show, podcast form of the show, if you will, available basically wherever you listen to podcasts. That includes Apple Podcasts and Spotify, or anywhere. Just search for Flicker Effect. You should be able to find us. But yeah, if you are listening, there is the video version over on YouTube, youtube.com/Flicker Effect. If you're watching, please leave any questions or comments down below. We would love to hear from you. But yeah, in this episode, we're going to be talking about the new film Bullet Train, starring Brad Pitt, among many others, actually.
So many others.
Film directed by David Leitch, who previously directed Atomic Blonde, which I never actually saw.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I liked Atomic
Really?
Blonde.
No, I never saw it.
I actually really
Atomic
liked
Blonde
that.
was dope, too. That was a dope.
Yeah.
I wanted to see
movie.
it, just never got around to it.
We're going to have a date night.
He also directed Deadpool 2.
Among many things.
I guess, what is he, an uncredited director on John Wick? Like, a director on that? Like, I'm not familiar with that situation.
I could see it.
I don't know what level of input he had on John Wick. I always get them confused between David Leitch and Chad Stahelski, because I think Chad maybe did Nobody and John Wick, I think. So I kind of get them confused in my head which one did what, but It's not entirely impossible that David Leitch also did some stuff for at least the first John Wick. I'm not sure if the other ones
Right.
hold true.
Yeah, for whatever reason, on IMDb, he's listed as an uncredited director on John Wick. So I didn't know if anybody else knew the story there. I hadn't heard. But let's dig into it. Again, I'm going to give the warning right now. We're going to talk about spoilers for Bullet Train. So, if you haven't seen the film yet, you might want to pause, go check out the film first, come back, and then listen or watch this episode. And do that after you've seen the movie. We haven't decided who's going to go first, so I'm going to use the bowl.
The bowl.
Good old bowl of destiny of ours.
The bowl.
You can hear it. There is actually paper in here. See who's going to go first.
Yasha's got it.
Yeah, you think it's Jascha?
No, I was just saying his voice.
Oh, the bowl. Yeah. It's good. The bowl.
The bowl.
Bobby Jackson.
Bobby Jackson.
Okay.
He was not prepared.
You're like, really?
Only because I just was trying to look up something real quick, and so I was like, crap. I hope it's not me, because I want to look this up real quick.
Do you want to tap out for one round and let somebody else go?
No, I got it. I got it.
When has that ever been an option?
No.
He's trying to look something. He's trying to look
Whatever
something
the
up.
bowl says. Is
Okay.
definitive.
The bowl is decided.
Spoken.
It is decided.
Yeah, all you needed to do was vamp for a second, and I got what I needed, so I'm good.
There you go. Problem solved itself.
Okay, so as the brief synopsis of this is that Brad Pitt is playing this guy who's kind of just got working himself back into the, assassin game, and he takes on what is described as an easy assignment, just to pretty much just steal his briefcase, but things don't go according to plan because he's on board with a whole bunch of other assassins, and there's a lot of chaos that ensues from there. What I was looking up and what I wanted to say about this movie from the start was that for you guys that did watch Bad Times at the El Royale. A lot of people made comparisons of that movie to being something sort of Tarantino-ish or Tarantino-light.
Oh, yeah,
I
kind of
personally thought that it still stood on its own and was a good movie in and of itself. And I've seen other people with this movie, Bullet Train, comparing it to something that maybe Guy Ritchie would have done. And it's definitely, you can see how that would be an apt comparison in that sense of the style and some of the things he does. With that being said, with this movie, there's a lot of things going on in the movie, and I think up until maybe the last half an hour, I was not really digging it. I thought that it was okay, and then the last half an hour changed me around to saying it was all right. I think I really, it's hard because I really enjoyed that last half an hour so much that I almost think it makes up for the rest, but I can't ignore how much of the other part of that movie from the beginning that I just felt like something was missing, and that it was like a collection of different things going on, and I never felt completely attached to any of the characters or any of what was going on the screen. There wasn't like a lot of cool camera work, to at least to me it wasn't, and there wasn't a lot of inventive types of fight choreography going on there. It just seemed like a lot of stuff that I've seen before, nothing that really wowed me. So that in and of itself was one big thing I was going in it for, and so the action wasn't quite there for me. And then not really knowing, there were some elements of the story I kind of had figured out, but at the same time it was kind of like, where are we going with this? And so that's why I think the last half an hour kind of swung it around for me a little bit, because at that point it was like, oh, okay. So I'd say between that last half an hour and some of the stuff that I got there as far as the action goes, also added in with the cornucopia of cameos that are in it, I think that kind of helped me swing the ship around. Otherwise, I just would have said it was all right. It was just kind of okay. But I think it's a little bit more than that for me now. But still not like something I would say that I wouldn't have enjoyed much better if I had watched it on Netflix. This to me was like not quite the movie I would want to rush out to go see in the theater, but if it was on Netflix, it would be better than the stuff that we currently get on Netflix, if that makes sense.
All right, that makes sense. I get what you're saying.
It does,
man.
yeah.
It totally
I see
makes
what you're
sense.
saying.
All right. Who's next? I'll make this quick.
The
The bull speaks. The bull picks me.
Oh.
I'm
Later.
next. Well, I'll just say really quick. It's funny. Listening to your review, I am going to be almost exactly the opposite of
I was
Bobby.
gonna say,
Like,
Yeah. I figure I'd be in the minority.
It's not even so much that like I think you're going to be in the minority. It's just like even the way you enjoyed the film is the exact opposite of how I enjoyed the film. I overall, I'll just say right off the bat, I actually really enjoyed the movie. I mean, it's about what I expected. I wasn't expecting a Tarantino level film. I wasn't expecting a Guy Ritchie level quality of film, and I saw those both inspirations from both of those directors in this movie. There were times I kind of had both feelings as I was watching certain stuff. Definitely with Tarantino, kind of a more of like a Kill Bill kind of inspirational kind of quality to it. And then, yeah, Guy Ritchie for sure. But overall, I really enjoyed it until the last 30 minutes. And then the last 30 minutes, it actually went kind of downhill for me.
Did it go off the rails for you?
Oh, wow. Yeah. it literally
I'm
went
going to be
off the
signing
rails.
off now because I am not going to be privy or subjugated to such banter and quips. No, absolutely not. Not after being gone for so long. Michelle, you apologize. You apologize right now.
The really sad thing is I didn't even like have that one like loaded in the barrel or anything.
No,
It's just
I
kinda-
set it up for you.
You did.
somebody was going to take it, and you nailed it. Yeah. I didn't hate the last 30 minutes. It was fine, but it kind of like amplified some of the stuff I was already like maybe nitpicky not liking about the movie. And then the last 30 minutes was like, it was almost a little too much. Like, and then, yeah, there was like the cameo-ness of the movie. Actually, I could have completely done without, like, especially the what's his name?
Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum cameo absolutely did not need to be there whatsoever. Every time he popped back up, it was only like 1 or 2 more times, right?
I think it was like 3 times total.
Yeah,
3 times total.
These jokes are terrible. Please make it stop. And then I'll fully admit, like the Ryan Reynolds thing is fine, but it's also like there was something about that moment that was like, it felt like it pulled me out of the movie, like kind of a silly cameo that I didn't need. But
that was
overall,
the thing that pulled you out of the movie.
No, I'm not saying it's the only
everything
thing.
else. Oh, okay, I was like, of all the things.
I definitely didn't say it's the only thing that pulled me out, but it pulled me out of the movie for sure. Like, it just felt silly and unnecessary. Like, okay, I mean, I love Ryan Reynolds as much as anybody, but like, I don't know. I didn't like it. But anyway, overall, I enjoyed it. I mean, yeah, it's not the quality of some of those directors I mentioned earlier, but I really wasn't expecting that. I agree with you. If I'd watched this on Netflix or another streaming service, I'd have been like, wow, that was a solid streaming movie. But I'm glad it was in theaters. I overall had a good time. I liked it. Oh, yeah, the bowl.
The bowl.
The bowl.
Michelle.
Aha.
Look at you, Jascha.
Man, yeah. Jascha gets to get it all out there. Okay. I mean, I actually really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it really from start to finish. I think if I was to go with a negative, I would have to echo what David said. I thought the Channing Tatum cameo it just wasn't necessary. And honestly, none of those jokes landed. And I thought it was just really kind of dumb. So it was like that whole part could have just been taken out. But otherwise, I thought it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed like the flashbacks and how just everything intertwined together. The story, I think, unveils or unravels. Unravels. There's the word. Yeah, it unravels. It unravels well, I think, as the movie progresses. I think I think overall I was actually very happy with it start to finish. I actually did like the Ryan Reynolds cameo at the end. I thought I was like, oh, that's kind of funny. Kind of throws Ryan under the bus for like calling out sick to like not be dead, basically. But I mean, it's funny because Dave and I don't really talk usually, but both of us, I kind of said something on the car ride home about the Ryan Reynolds cameo. And you were like, yeah,
I didn't. Set me off. No, I didn't.
And you were like, I didn't really care for it. And I was like, really? Well, who would you have wanted to be a cameo for that scene? Like, it was such a good setup that it needed to have a cameo. Like, the setup of that story was just so good. It needed a cameo. And he was just like, I'd rather it just not have been a cameo. And I kind of thought about stuff. And I was like, oh, kind of been funny if it was like, like Ryan Gosling or
George
Jake
Clooney.
Gyllenhaal. George Clooney would have been a good one. I was also kind of thinking Matt Damon. But then I thought about it. I was like, who would have been a really good one? And it really echoes off of the other movie that the director did was, what's his name? Bob Odenkirk. The one who does Better Call Saul. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That would have been a good one, I think, as a cameo. But anyways. No, I thought that the action scenes were good. They were just enough. It wasn't too much over the top. I didn't think there were moments where I was like, ooh, is that a little overkill? Maybe a little bit, but it was still just kind of in fun. I really like the repartee like that everybody kind of has with each other. It's conversations kind of back and forth. It's just kind of silly. Nobody's really taking everything at 100% seriousness, even though literally life and death is on the line for a lot of these people. But it was enjoyable. I thought it was kind of fun and funny. And I don't know. I really liked it. I was very happy with it, actually. I was like, this is about the speed that I needed. Just kind of silly, fun, action, comedy. Don't take itself seriously at all. Yeah, no, I was very delighted with that film, actually. It was fun. It was
Delighted?
Yeah.
Delighted.
I was
Delighted.
delighted.
All right, Yasha, that leaves you.
All right, let's
Where
dive
you-
in, shall we?
Where
Let's,
do you stand, Yasha?
You know what? I enjoyed it for what it was. I thought it was fantastic. I thought the silliness aspect of it, especially Brad Pitt's character, really trying to zen out and actually talk to people about that, and like, you need to just relax and let's go talk about this. Like, he just didn't understand how bad but fortunate his luck really was throughout the entire film, and I thought that was a really nice, fun joke. I didn't mind the Ryan Reynolds cameo, but I think we all know I'm a huge Ryan Reynolds fan, so I'm, anytime he pops up into something, I think it's absolutely fantastic. I was kind of bummed actually at some of the cameos that they had, that they didn't play a longer role, like didn't come back a little bit more.
Oh.
I felt like they leaned so heavily into Bad Bunny's cameo. I thought it was going to be much more than what they gave us. And I barely even know who the person is. I had to ask a friend of mine. I love the banter back and forth with Lemon and Tangerine. I thought that was really well done. And, the quips and the dialogue I thought were a lot of fun, and it was interesting. I did get a very Quentin Tarantino-ish vibe when I was watching the film. And overall, I thought it was fine. I think it was a perfect summer blockbuster movie. And I say that loosely because it's not doing that well in the theater right now. So that's kind of unfortunate. I think it only made like $7 million this weekend. Oh, domestically, it made 30. I got to imagine that movie probably cost a little bit more than 30 million to make. So they're not going to really make their money back on that film, which is unfortunate because I like Brad Pitt and I loved all the actors and the cameos that they had in the film. I thought it was a lot of fun. And overall, I did enjoy the movie. I did think it was definitely watchable, especially in the theater. I mean, but go into it expecting a very easy to follow blockbuster film with a lot of celebrity cameos and silliness. And I think if you do that, then you'll be happy.
I hear you on the cameo thing, because one of the things that I thought was that the actress Karen Fukuhara,
Yeah.
which we all know from
The Boys.
The Boys, it was kind of a letdown that she actually didn't end up being an assassin. I was kind of like, oh, but she would have been such a good assassin. Like, maybe even not as an assassin. Maybe she could have worked for the grandfather, a.k.a. the elder. I'm trying to think of that wonderful actor's name that I can't think of now. Shoot, he's so good too.
Yeah, he's dope.
Yeah.
God. And you should know this. He's so good.
I'll look it up.
Anyways,
Hiroyuki Sanada.
there we go. Hiroyuki
There it
Sanada.
is,
Like,
yeah.
it would have been cool if she was like working for him secretly the whole time, and at the very end, she kind of came in like a cool badass moment, and he'd been like, "You were a clinch right there," and the or something, like either an assassin or that she worked for him as an assassin, kind of a thing. I don't know. That would have been cool because I just felt like that was a missed opportunity, in my opinion, for that actress. Like, her just being the like trolley girl, like the cart girl. I was like, what? But she's such a badass. Come on. Anyways,
Bobby, you look like you want to chime in.
Yeah, no, because like, that's fair, but I get why she was used the way she was and maybe in regards to maybe when this movie was made and how at that time how was she in The Boys at that?
Her
So maybe
rising
she just
star.
wasn't. Yeah. I feel the same way you do about her, about Andrew Koji, because he was not only Storm Shadow in that terrible Snake Eyes movie, but he's been on this series on HBO. It was on Cinemax before, but HBO Max called Warrior, and he is so badass. Like, he can fight. And he had no like fight scenes in the movie,
was
so I was
basically
just so
dying.
disappointed. Yeah,
Basically
I was
dying the
what
whole
are you
movie.
doing with this guy? He's so
And then
good.
you really didn't
Like, why are
get to
you
use
not
any of
using
his
him?
moves, even when he
No,
was
no.
actually being active. It wasn't
Yeah.
anything like,
Yeah.
That's like the bare minimum for him for his skill set. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm with you.
So
The other one that was
there.
a bummer. Oh, I was gonna say I agree with you. What about Zazie Beetz? Did you think she was underused? I
A little
did.
bit, a little bit. I did think that a little bit, where I was like, I think part of the fun of it is that they are quick cameos, and it's just like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, here's this person. But I
Yeah.
also agree with Yasha in that sense that I would have liked to see them a little bit longer, just a little bit longer, just to see
Yeah.
a little bit more of what they were doing in there. And I think some of these cameos must have come about because of the past work that they did, because with David Leitch being in the director for Deadpool 2, you had Zazie Beetz in there as Domino. You had Brad Pitt
Yeah.
in a little cameo role in that
Mhm.
movie. And of course, Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. So it's like, hey, Ryan, why don't you come over here and do me a solid for this movie I'm doing? And it's like, it's sort of synergy going on there that you can kind
Right.
of see with some of these cameos. Not to mention the fact that Sandra Bullock being in here as the handler
Yeah.
for Brad Pitt and Channing Tatum, they were all just in the movie not too long ago, that romantic comedy with Channing Tatum and Sandra Bullock, where they're
Mhm.
doing the book or whatever, and they go on this adventure. So there's like
Yeah,
all
what
kinds
was
of
that?
synergy going on there that I thought was kind of cool. But I definitely could have used a tad bit more of the cameos in there, just a little bit. But I somehow feel like of the characters that survive, if they try and do a sequel, we might see more. Like I could see Ryan Reynolds being set up as the big villain for a second movie or something like that.
I mean, I half hoped that Ryan Reynolds was going to come back in, or he'd be able to actually talk to him about, dude, you called out sick, and do you know what I was getting myself into? And Ryan Reynolds kind of being like, yeah, that's why I called in sick, like that whole situation,
I
something
was
to that
pretty
effect.
pretty sure I was gonna die today, so I called out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, it was, yeah. I mean, like you said, I mean, there's not much more to add to the fact that it's like, yeah, some of the cameos were really short, and I would have loved to see them last a little bit longer or be playing in. But yeah, I'm with you. I think that The Lost City is the movie that Brad
Yeah.
Pitt, Sandra Bullock, Channing Tatum, they all just did this movie. I mean, I almost feel like they just said, hey, you do me a solid and show up in this movie for 10 minutes. Like, I can't imagine Sandra Bullock's role really being that demanding. She probably did the whole scene, all the scenes in like 5 days. If she was
Right.
if she was on there, because she wasn't on camera
At
for half the
most.
time of the movie. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Same thing with Channing Tatum. He probably did his part in 2 days. 2 or 3 days, maybe less.
Right.
I wish I would seen him do more, because I think Channing's a lot of fun to watch when it comes to fight scenes and action scenes, because he can do it. Like, it would have been kind of cool if he did something a little clumsily or just kind of fell into it. But at the same time, he didn't really need to be there. It could have been any type of weirdo sitting on
Yeah.
the bench, but we had this beautiful guy just sitting on the train, and Brad Pitt's like engaging with him. It was weird. It was weird, but it was quirky, and I still enjoyed the movie. Like, I would still tell people to go see it. Like,
Oh yeah.
it was a fun movie. I mean, it's just something you can turn off and just kind of watch.
I mean, just for the relationship between Tangerine and Lemon, like that was just
Yeah.
it was just an engaging, fun relationship to watch out, and then to have Brad Pitt kind of play on both of them, I thought also was interesting. Like all of their interactions between the three of them, I thought were all really entertaining. And then yeah, like the end scene with Tangerine, I was like, oh, sweet justice, karma, and that's one of the things I really liked. I like the whole good luck, bad luck, karma, fate, all of that kind of intertwining. I was like, it's fun. I just look at this movie, I go, this movie is just fun, surfacey. Just
Yeah.
forget about your worries of your life for 2 hours and just have a good time.
Bobby, you were going to say something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, because you guys were talking about Channing Tatum, and one of the things that I really like about Channing Tatum is he does not take himself seriously when he
no.
takes on a role, but yet he can be serious and he can do action and stuff. And so, between him being in Free Guy, with him popping up there, this as well, and then the Lost City, it's like he's doing different things and having fun, and then the next thing we see him in might be something serious, or it might be something where he is more the action guy, or whatever the case may be. But right now he's just having some fun popping up and stuff, and so I like that about him. Maybe the part necessarily wasn't called for in that he could have been anyone else. But I like that he was game enough to say, yeah, I'll come in for whatever, a couple days and do this and just have some fun. So I do like that. But I think the one thing that I did think was kind of interesting where you guys were talking about orange, tangerine and lemon. See, as I was watching Aaron Taylor Johnson, I was like, okay, can I picture him as Craven right now? Because he was doing all these different things, and I was like, yeah, I know he definitely put on a little bit more muscle for the Craven role. And I was just like, yeah, okay, I think maybe, but I don't know that the movie will be good, but I think he can at least maybe pull off the character. So I am now a little bit more curious about that movie than I was.
I mean,
This is Aaron Taylor
that's-
Johnson.
Huh?
Sorry. This is
What about
Aaron
him,
Taylor
sorry?
Johnson. Yeah.
Who
Sorry.
is
I
he?
was
Yeah.
No, I just said Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Oh.
I was just trying to confirm that that's who's from Craven, right? And
Yeah. Uh-huh.
yeah.
No, I mean, like you said, he bulked up a little bit to do that role, but that's also when camera angles to make him look maybe taller than other people because he's not the tallest actor, and so that's when you use certain angles and you make different shots to make it work out to make him look more menacing, I guess.
Right.
For Craven.
Well, I still think
they'll
of him.
figure it out.
The first thing I still think of him, anything I see him in, is always probably going to be Kick-Ass. I can't think of him too much as Quicksilver
Yeah.
because he was barely as Quicksilver before he died. So,
Right, yeah.
But Kick-Ass always comes to mind anytime I see him, and
Yeah.
he's a really good actor.
No, he's very talented. Like, I mean, I think of him as Quicksilver, even though he was only in there for a little bit. But I think he nailed that role big time, and it was a lot of fun to watch. It's just, I'm with you. It's just unfortunate. I'd like to see him in a few more things, but he's a fun actor to watch. Definitely.
He was good in what was that? Tenet as well. I remember not even realizing that was him for the longest time.
Oh,
And then I was
yeah.
like, God dang, that's right. That is Aaron Taylor
that was.
Johnson.
I was just gonna say it's funny because like there's no doubt like that's the first thing I know him from, Kick-Ass. But now his body is so different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Kick-Ass, like every time I see him in any role, and I was gonna say like Tenet, that's the first thing that pops up that I've seen him in recently. That like I think of him now in all the roles he's basically done since, where he looks the way he looks now,
Full
Like,
adulthood.
full adulthood. Aaron Taylor Johnson, like I think he's great in Kick-Ass, but yeah, it just doesn't even
Right.
seem like the same guy at this
Same
point.
person. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I was just thinking like how much I enjoyed Brian Tyree Henry in this film. Like I feel like every project he attaches to, I just go, man, I love him. He's so enjoyable. Like
He's talented.
he really is. He's so ridiculously talented. And like I feel like now he's finally starting to get some bigger roles and things. So it's enjoyable to see him continue to grow in his career. So it's nice.
I'm glad you guys watch Atlanta too, because you get to see him in that as well and see just how much he is a good actor in terms of just even from that was the first place I ever saw him when he. And then,
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
fair, that's where some of them broke ground at was
Yeah.
in that show before they kind of got bigger to where they are now. But yeah, he's very talented.
He actually is from Britain, right? He actually is he actually is UK, right?
No, he's
don't
born
know.
in North Carolina.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Oh, so he had a
Yeah.
British accent, right?
Yeah.
I was curious if it was the other way around, where he was doing these miracles. But never mind. Anyways,
So
yeah, that's all I got.
I don't know. Anything else about Bullet Train? I mean, yeah, it's not the kind of movie that we're going to do like a deep dive into, but
No, we don't need to do that.
no. I was going to say, I mean, I feel like, I feel like me, Michelle, you, Jascha, probably enjoyed it the most. Bobby, I think you enjoyed it the least out of all of us.
Since you didn't like it till the last 30 minutes.
I'm, I guess, the one who feels like the ending. I don't know. And I didn't hate the ending, but like one thing that comes to mind is I think we could have done without even ever seeing Sandra Bullock's character. I didn't need to see her at the end. I kind of wish she had just done the voice role for his handler and that would have been it. Like
No, I don't disagree with that.
having her pop up at the end like that just felt like I guess we have to see her, like, even though this is kind of whatever. I don't know.
No. I'm not going to disagree with you. And it's not because I was mad at it. I was fine with it. It's and not that I'm saying you are, but no, I would agree with that. Like, it would have been almost cool if Brad Pitt could have, like, kind of gimped off a little bit, and then Tangerine could, like, pop the door open to the truck and been like, just get in, and then they could have just gone off in the little tangerine fruit truck together
Right.
at the end. I think my disappointment with the ending was honestly just not getting... I didn't feel that the fight scenes between really just the big bad guy of the whole movie.
That was something else. Like, I mean,
Michael Shannon?
That was a bit of a letdown for me.
We see, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure, we saw in the trailer that Michael Shannon is in this film. That wasn't like a big surprise cameo that he was that role. At the same time as I'm watching the movie... Yeah, and it's funny because as I was watching the movie, I couldn't remember. I'm like, we did see him in the trailer, right? Even though I'm pretty sure we did.
Yeah.
And I did find myself going, though, like, I kind of wish this hadn't been Michael. I love Michael Shannon, and he's fine in the role, but it also felt like it was a kind of a cameo kind of moment that I was like, I kind of wish this had just been like some kind of badass actor that we didn't know. I don't know why, just something that I thought as I was watching it.
We're just not revealing that Michael Shannon was even in it. In the trailers, like, it just been nice to have not even known that he was going to be it, and just really kind of been like, whoa, that was a direction I wasn't ready for. I mean, that would have been cool, but I just feel like the fight sequence between him and the Elder, I think that was a little lacking. So for me, I was kind of like, oh, this could have been really... I feel like it could have been more intense.
And then
my opinion.
Another thing that comes to mind too is, and we've talked about before, I have seen that first Bullet Train trailer, I don't know how many times before almost every movie we saw this summer.
For like the last 6 months.
And then it's to a major fault when you see it so much. And I am watching the movie going, okay, there's going to be this scene where he throws the bottle of water at his head. And there's going to be this scene where Zazie Beetz, even though I honestly didn't even realize that was her in the trailer anyway, that she's going to come in and be like a villain in this whole situation. And I was just kind of waiting for that to happen. And there was stuff like, because that trailer was so ingrained in my brain because I'd seen it so much that I was like, all right, well, I'm having a good time, but I know that this is going to now take place. Like, that's a little annoying whenever that happens.
I think not only did they promote the crap out of this, with the trailer they ran in front of, I think, literally every movie that came out that was a PG and up rating. Yeah, like the trailer kind of gives away. The two trailers kind of give away a little bit. I think, if anything,
yeah, I never watched the second one.
Bummer.
I didn't either.
It's kind of a bum.
Doesn't the second one show Sandra Bullock in it?
Yeah, it does. It does. I finally watched it. It's got a little cameo of her. Like, you see her talking, and it's actually a line that she says in the first trailer, so it's kind of like kind of figured out.
I see. Okay.
Like the shots of her in the movie where they kind of had her like talking on the phone while she was like home, we'll say.
Oh, it's like stuff that's not in the movie, you're saying? No.
That was that quick little like her talking to him, but like shots of her at home where she's kind of like, what's happening? Just breathe. And then she's kind of realizing shit's hitting the fan, and she gets in her car, and she's, those quick little like snippets of her talking on the phone with him.
Yeah, but we don't see that in the movie is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that happens literally before she picks him up, like as she's picking him up.
Oh, well, I don't remember that. I didn't remember that we ever saw her talking on the phone other than when she shows up. Like, I guess I don't remember it well. Anything else?
So, yeah, I never saw the trailers, so everything was a surprise for me. That's why I think I enjoyed, the Michael Shannon reveal, and for me, I think the Sandra Bullock pop up there. I think I did need that only because where everyone else, they kept showing all these different cameos. In the back of my mind, I kept wondering, well, who's the handler, and is she in on this, like in setting him up? So I needed some answers there. And so her reveal kind of provided me the answers that, one, she wasn't like against him and was on his side, and two, who it was that he had been talking to this whole time, because I'd been wondering in my head, who was he talking to? Like, they're showing so many people with cameos. She has to be somebody, but I can't place her voice. And I was like in the movie sitting there every time she was talking, I was trying to go through my Rolodex of actresses, and I was like, who is that? Who is that? So I really needed to see who that was, because it would have drove me crazy if it ended and I didn't know, because I literally was thinking about that through a lot of parts of the movie.
I could be devil's advocate and say, what if you never knew who it was, and they could do a sequel and then a third movie, and the third movie it turned out that she was actually the big bad that correlated all of this together.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be cool. But that would be predicated on there being sequels, because then it would be
right.
If they didn't get a second one.
I think I'm old fashioned. I kind of like the whole like Charlie's Angels of it all. Like, I don't need to know the face behind the voice. Just give me the voice. Just tell me what to do, because that's, in essence, that's what Ladybug is doing on every mission. He's just entrusting that this person is going to help handle him through his his situation.
Right.
Anyways,
another thing was about the ending.
It's like we all just keep coming up with stuff.
Like, I kind of wish, like, the White Death, right? All of his henchmen could have just been like these kind of ultimate badass henchmen, and instead, even though it was funny, it's like you got the two of them who are like having this whole dialogue before they open the briefcase, which is funny, but at the same time, I feel like it makes them as like a group of henchmen kind of like a little more.
It takes away from like henchmen of, say, like in Kill Bill versus henchmen that are, say, stormtroopers, and they're just stupid.
Yeah, they're just kind of stupid, and you got the one guy makes the comment about the mask. I guess it's the same two guys talking about the briefcase, and there was a kind of silly quality about them when it came down to it, that I was like, this guy's supposed to be the most ultimate like badass like boss that has the most like just ridiculous henchmen. Like, that's what I was kind of waiting for and hoping for. And even though like
be crazy, samurais.
Even though they're kind of funny, I don't know, it took some away
from
it for me. Yeah. Anyway.
You did not like that ending.
I didn't hate it. It's fine. Anyway, anybody got anything else before we wrap things up? I think we're good.
Nope.
Bullet Train
in theaters now. Go check it out if you will. With that, we're going to wrap things up, get out of here. As always, we would love to hear back from all of you listening and watching. You can, first of all, email us at feedback@flickereffect.com. If you're watching us on YouTube, please leave any questions or comments down below. We would love to hear from you. Make sure to like this post if you've enjoyed it, subscribe, and hit that bell icon to be notified whenever we post any videos or maybe go live in the future. You can also find us on Instagram and Twitter at @flicker_effect. With that, I'm David Lott.
I'm Bobby Jackson.
I'm Jascha Wilson.
And I'm Michelle Hillard.
Thanks for listening and watching. Bye, everybody.